What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking a little bit about perspective when it comes to where the price is right now in the bull market and how opportunistic it is to get into the crypto markets right now. We're going to be talking about, the general purpose of this video is to discuss the coming bear cycle. I know that's a little bit ironic when we talk about how opportunistic it is right now and then talking about the coming bear cycle. What do you mean? I think it's a prime opportunity to get into crypto right now. I think we have a lot of bull cycle left ahead of us. I think the cycle is going to end, sometime at the end of 2025. October or later. That's kind of my expectation personally. As early as August is what I would give it personally for my own personal expectations. The bear market that starts after that, I want to discuss where the potential low would be for that bear market, right? Because I think whenever we determine what that answer is, wherever the low is going to be, when it comes to the end of this video, you're going to see that answer and it's going to do nothing but make you want to buy more. It's going to present the current price, the current opportunity that we have. It's going to present it basically exactly as it is, which is just a golden opportunity for this cycle and for the next cycle. So if that sounds good to you, buckle up, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it, you guys. Okay, so here we are right now. Essentially, again, what we're trying to do is measure. We're trying to figure out where we're going to be by the end of the next bear cycle, right? We've got this bull cycle to go, then where are we going to be by the next bear cycle? That's what we're trying to figure out right there. It's already a little bit complicated because we don't even have the all-time high yet. So we don't know from where are we measuring. Is this the all-time high here? Is it a little bit higher? Is it a lot higher? Where's it going to be? When is it going to be? So I'm not going to try to predict when the bear cycle is, when it's going to end, because we don't even know when the bull cycle is going to end, right? Projecting where the bear cycle is going to end is already going to be hard enough because we don't know where the bull cycle is going to end, but we can at least try with the range. And I think the more simple we keep it, the more accurate this will be for a long-term kind of prediction. So we're going to keep it simple. The most simple way I think we could identify or analyze any bear market is just the overall drop, high to low. 93.6%. That was the first bear market, right? From an overall drop. High to low on the next one, we had a 86% drop. I think it's obvious where I'm measuring these bear markets from, right? Beginning of the bear market here / end of the bull market, all the way down here, 84%. So 93%, 86%, 84%, getting smaller. We can certainly sense a trend here, right? Going from the high here to the low of the last cycle, that was a 77%. So here, 93% to 86%, that's about, what is that? That's about a 7% difference there, right? 86 to 84, that's about a 2%, 2.4% difference right there. And then 84 to 77, that's about a 7% difference. So we've seen two 7% differences, one 2% difference. Essentially, each time each bear cycle has come upon us, we've seen lesser and lesser significance at the tune of something between a 2 to a 7% difference, right? So 77.5%, we don't know where the bull cycle is going to be at the end here, but we do know how far the bear cycle will drop. We know that it won't drop 77. I should say we know where it won't drop. Maybe not how far it will drop, but how far it won't drop. It won't drop 77.5%. That's what we know won't happen. Okay, so it won't do something like this. At least it'll do like this here, 86 to 84. At least we would see a 2% difference. So maybe a 75% move, something like that, all the way down. We're just identifying the potential of this bear market, right? That's what we're doing right now. Then we'll apply it to its appropriate areas. 2% difference and then a 7% difference. Well, 77 from 7, that would put you at 70. So 70, basically what I'm saying is I'm expecting around a 70% to 75% drop during the next cycle. That's what we've just determined with this, again, very simple kind of form of analysis. We don't have a lot of iterations. My genuine expectation would be if we've only had a difference of 7 and 2 going through Bitcoin's history, it's probably going to be a different number than that right now, right? Maybe it's a 1% difference. Maybe it's a 5% difference. Maybe it's a 10% difference. It could be a different number. We only have 3 iterations really to go off of, or I guess 4 iterations to go off of. So it's not a science, and again, I do mean it could be a 10% difference. Maybe we do only see a 60-something% drop in the bear market, but let's stick with the data that we have. Let's not try to cherry pick too much, right? So 75.5% to 70%. That's what we have. Now let's try to find a place to put these things, okay? So that we can measure from where, right? Like if we were at 1.2 million, okay, a 75% drop puts us at 300,000, right? But we're probably not going to go to 1.2 million by the end of the cycle. I mean, wouldn't that be great? it's possible. I definitely am not. I'm not one of those people who says it's not possible. Some people laugh at those prices. Those people will never see those prices, right? The only people who don't think a 100x is possible are the same people that never experience a 100x. Does that make sense? A little philosophy, a little perspective there for you. You want a 100x, you know what that means? You got to hold through a 20x. You got to hold through an 80x. You want a 100x, you have to hold through a 99x. Most people can't do that. Right? Most people can't do that. So whenever I'm talking about prices, I'm getting all hung up on this because I'm talking about prices that could be over $1 million by the end of the cycle. I don't personally expect that, but it's a possibility. We got a lot of bullish things going on this cycle. It is a possibility. And the only people that won't be selling at $1 million are the people who don't at least accept it as a possibility. So, right, just don't, you cannot expect it and still consider it as a possibility. But man, I'm getting hung up on the wrong things here. Let's just move on. Okay, let's try to put these somewhere. So now we've identified the bear markets. Let's go through and identify our bull market behavior. So from a high to a low here on our fibs, we went all the way up. Our bull market here ended at the 2272. We go to the next bull market, high to low here, high to low here, 2272 topped off, and then we go to the next bull cycle here. Oh, oops, it was I just skipped the whole bull cycle. High to low here. And we hit the 1618. We double topped the 1618. I theorized we were supposed to hit the 2272 last cycle, but we double topped. This should have been our phase where we went up to the 2272, but we double topped instead, right? We never double topped any other cycle. But 1618, we've hit the 1618 or the 2272 every single cycle. So at a bare ass minimum, about 174K would be the top of this cycle, right? That's at a bare minimum. If that were the top of this cycle and we were to grow until the end of this year, I personally, I don't even actually think it's worth mentioning it, man, because I don't think that's possible. You know, if we stop, and I shouldn't say I don't think it's possible. That's just my rhetoric. I didn't actually mean that, right? I don't think that it's something that's going to happen. I accept it as a possibility. It really is a possibility and should be considered as a possibility, but I don't believe it's going to happen, right? And the main reason is seasonality with Bitcoin, and then we also have the 2025 administration swap in the United States, right? We've got a lot of pro-crypto people coming into the White House, so I just can't see, with this kind of monumentous occasion of history taking place for the United States, the world, and crypto altogether, I can't see us only growing this much with the whole year left. So I very much do expect that we're going to go higher. I don't think it'll be worth measuring from these targets, okay? If we stop, you guys, if we stop at 173K, I promise you I'll make another video like this projecting where the bear market lows are going to be, but that'll be in like a month from now, right? Because it probably won't take us too long to get to 173K. So let's assume it's not 173K. Let's go to the next target at the 1886 here, all the way up at the 1886. That's 259,000. Now, I don't think we're going to stop there either. I do think we're going to go higher, but I do accept that more as a potential pessimistic possibility. So let's put that line there. If we put that line right there, we try to tie it up right to that 1886, you can see that the bear market low would essentially be just a little bit, about $20,000 lower than we're at now, but still above the all-time high, right? So that makes, I feel like that makes these prices somewhat appealing, somewhat appetizing, right? If you think about it, if we were to consider the last bear cycle, you know, if we put the bull cycle all the way up here and you dropped either to this point here for support or to this point here, because that's where the measurements are, somewhere in one of these areas here, right? And you bought now, effectively in the bear cycle, you'd be buying over here, somewhere in this range, right? Not quite at the lows. That would be like you didn't buy the absolute low here in the bear cycle, but you probably bought on this wicking bounce between 25 and 31K, right? It might not have felt great when you bought at 25 to 31K when the price went all the way down to 15K. But damn, doesn't it feel great now that you're at 99K? You know what I mean? We're not even done with the bull market. So I think that makes this price right here kind of appetizing. And that's only a pessimistic look. Let's go from where I actually expect the bear market or the bull market to end, and I know the next line up here is the 200, but the way that I identify this, I wouldn't consider that the next target. It's more of like a range between these two lines. That's why they're so close together. The next target, the true target, would be the 2272. And that's where we have gone the first two bull cycles in Bitcoin's, well, the second and the third bull cycle. The first bull cycle didn't have any extensions to work off of, right? We can't we can't measure extensions for this one, right? We can measure extensions from this one, from a high to a low, to project out the 2272 on this one. We can't over here, but for 2 out of 3 bull cycles so far, we have hit the 2272, and I suspect we would have hit it 3 for 3 last cycle if we had better economic circumstances about us, right? Anyways, 2272. If we were to go to the 2272, and actually both times we hit the 2272, we went just above it, 462K, just above its 500K. I like that as a nice psychological level, $500,000 for resistance, and it's a key area on the fibs that we normally do just go just above, so that makes sense to me. If we were to do something like that at a 70% drop, right, from like the most deficit that we've seen from cycle to cycle in the loss of bear market overall droppage, does that make sense? Okay, 70% right there, and then here if we put it probably right there at about 500K as well, 75%. So here, and this is what really got me excited. This is kind of why I really wanted to make this video, because again, this is, we gave the pessimistic look. We didn't even go with the absurdly like ridiculous. That's like, if people say you're a moon boy for thinking Bitcoin's going to be at over $1 million by the end of the cycle, I would say you're a bear boy for thinking Bitcoin's going to be anything less than 200K by the end of the cycle. It just doesn't make, and if it were to go to anything above 173, the only place it would stop at would be this price here, right? Like if it went to 175, okay, fine. But if it gets to 180 or higher, we're likely not stopping till at least 260, right? And even then, I think that's pessimistic. But even from the most pessimistic points of view, there's a case to be made that these prices are outstanding, to say the least, especially in like a long-term kind of perspective. And then from a more realistic approach, from where I think, especially given the historical significance of the 2272 from cycle peaks, and Bitcoin itself does like its 2272 areas on shorter time frames even. I think we can, I bet we can find it right here. Watch, high to low. Nope, that's its 1886 actually. It didn't quite hit its 2272, but it reached, again, you know, that might be more of an argument for 260K, but there you can see it reached just above the 1886 there. But there are times where it does interact with its 2272. Let's do this one real quick. One more. Let's try again. One more. High to low. That one's way too high. So now oh, actually, okay, right there you did actually stop right there at your 2272. That's where you stopped for like a month, and then you broke out and went higher. To be completely fair, you did do that. We can observe that on a weekly basis, I bet. Yeah, look, you literally, man, I'm going to have to click the back button a bunch, but look, I'm not making this up. I'm not just cherry picking, right? You literally went right up to your 2272 here, perfect, and that's where you stopped. I'm just saying, and that doesn't mean just because it did it one time there and I got evidence of it, that doesn't mean that it has to go here, but I really do expect it would go there. Now, let's stop beating around the bush, stop talking about this target. Let's say I'm wrong in the sense that it doesn't go here, not from a point of it being lower, but from a point of it exceeding those prices, where would the next target be? And the next target would be 775K, right? And I think at this point, this whole kind of method, this offer of perspective that I'm giving in this video, I think is kind of moot, right? Because the higher that we go, the only more juicy these prices are whenever you're thinking about the bear cycle next cycle, right? Because I don't know about you guys, I plan on buying cryptocurrencies next bear cycle. I do. I plan on buying them. I plan on buying them still this cycle, right? And then there's always that question where, is it too late in the cycle? Should I wait till the next cycle? Should I be stacking cash? You know, all these kinds of things. And that's different. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. That's different. That's a different answer for every single person. But if you're the type of person who is long-term minded, you're trying to hold these coins, these cryptos, these assets for years, like 4 years or more years, 5 years, 10 years or more years, this kind of analysis should make you, like, you should have your bib on with a fork and knife in hand, licking your lips, chomping at the bit, ready for this thing to like literally just do its thing. And then by the end of the bear market next cycle, you're still at dramatically higher prices than you would even buy now, right? Ready for it to give you an opportunity. I don't know, man. I lost my momentum. I lost my train of thought there. But all I'm trying to say, guys, is the higher that we go this cycle, if we end up at 462 to 500,000 by the end of the cycle, and I think we will, that makes this price right here pretty appetizing, right? Because even at the lowest potential, the bear market low would still be above 120K. And I personally don't think we'll break below 100K next cycle, on the coming bear cycle. You know, I think that 120K, maybe higher than that for sure. It could be that we don't even break below 170K. I don't know. But definitely something, and in fact, actually, if we look at, we've analyzed the bear markets from a percentage perspective, but if we analyze them from a fib perspective, you know, from a high to low here, your bear market here found support on this 1618. It double bottomed right there, actually. And then from the next bear cycle low, from a high to low here, you found support just below your 1618, but still above your 1414, and then you had your COVID crash right to the 1618, kind of like a higher low double bottom kind of thing on your 1618 there, okay? And then if we look at the last cycle, we didn't find support on the 1618, but we did find resistance on it, just showing significance on the 1618 itself. All I'm trying to say is, might it be a possibility that if this target here at 70%, it's pretty close to that 1618, might it be a possibility that that we go all the way up here, and then when we come down, we could either find support right on the 1618 as we've done through a couple bear markets and even bull markets, or would we go below it and still in between the 1618 and the 14 like we did that one 2018, 2019 bear market there. Something like that could definitely happen, but something, I would think something above 128 to below 173 would be my expectation for the bear market low, okay? And we are right now, at, if we went down to, let's even say 120, from $120,000, we're about 20% away from that price right now, right? You are essentially, and I'll end the video with this note, okay? Because I think I've made the point, painstakingly so. You are at a better price, likely, right? If Bitcoin doesn't see above $300,000 by the end of the cycle, then this, what I'm about to say is not true. But it still is a good price, relatively speaking, in consideration of the coming bear market. But if the price goes to where I'm thinking it goes, which is a $500,000 price or more by the end of the cycle, probably not even 500K, it could go to like 460K, but something around there or more by the end of the cycle, then the following bear cycle that precedes this bull cycle, or proceeds, not precedes, I think it's proceeds. It's the lows are not even going to be at this price, guys. We literally right now are at prices that are more ideal than anything will be offered ever again in Bitcoin's history whenever it comes to any bear market from here on out. So if that sounds good to you guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.